ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the edge of forever. So stop me or take my advice.
Now, from the Untold Radio Network, it's Untold Radio AM with Doug and Alex Hajicek.
Hello.
Hello.
So, if I have to tap out tonight, you'll know what happened to me. Anyhow, welcome to Untold Radio, episode 172. And I guess this is our Christmas show.
Yes.
Yes. And I am drugged up on every kind of cold medicine you can imagine.
So it'll be fun.
Even Zambuco. Have you ever heard of that stuff?
Oh my gosh. So you're throwing everything at it.
I have everything. Yeah. Tylenol, cold and flu, you name it. So I just got over something that I fought for almost 3 weeks, right? And then all of a sudden I'm feeling all great. And I was in the garage working again, blah, blah, blah. And I hear a cough in the other room. And I'm like, no! And it's Yvette coughing. And I'm like, oh, God. So I go in there and I go, don't tell me you're coming down with something. She goes, because she had the one I had too. This is a new one. So anyway, so we're both fighting it. She's at work, but man, she's barely getting through her day. So
It never ends.
yeah, I was literally, I swear to God, I was talking to the Lord last night. So I was so sick.
It was that bad.
Fever, headache. The fever is what really gets you. You know, you don't know where you are. Oh, and then you throw on the double earache I've had for like 5 weeks now. Waiting to get into the doctor, but I can't get in until January 7th.
That far out.
Yeah, that's as quick. And I called them and begged them, and they just, here are some antibiotics. Just take these. That'll hold you off.
That's a shame. Take them, go away.
And it doesn't do anything. Anyhow, enough of that. Didn't mean to.
Enough of that crap.
Enough of that crap. I didn't mean to rain everybody's parade. But if I have to tap out, it's because I'm passed out. Anyhow, so tonight we have Marc
Myrsell.
Marcel, yep. And he is a Bigfoot historian. I've wanted to meet Marc forever. I've not had a chance. I guess sometimes there's just no excuse to. We all need an excuse, right?
Exactly.
So here's the excuse. So, oh, by the way, I'm back in the purple crap now.
Yeah. Is that your
I
secret
got
weapon?
away from it forever, but I have to be on it again.
Yeah. Keeps you moving.
Yeah, it keeps me from turning to dust. So anyhow, it'll be an exciting show at the bottom of the hour. Marc's already in the back room. Hi, Marc. We're glad you're here.
Hi, Marc.
So let's see here. Oh, so it's Christmas season, right? Obviously, it was Christmas in like 5 days. Do you ever have this happen where you order a bunch of stuff and it says, yeah, we'll arrive before Christmas. And then you check the status the next day and they change the delivery.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And of course, it always happens with Yvette's gifts.
Oh,
It's
no.
like in the doghouse. It's like, we'll be there by January 3rd. Like, oh, great. That helps me.
Oh, great. A year later.
But I was actually digging in a drawer and I was realizing how bad and dangerous all my battery storage was. So I was going to buy a battery case. You ever do that? Buy yourself a Christmas present while you're shopping for other people?
That's all I do.
You see something that you like and
Yeah.
you need.
Yeah.
So I thought, a battery organizer holds 270 batteries. I can have it all in one little perfect case.
Perfect.
Then I go and read the reviews and listen to the reviews. It says battery spaces are too small.
Oh no.
How do you get that wrong? Oh my God. Can you imagine spending the tooling and the money to build this big injection tool and getting your shrinkage wrong on your battery
Get the
holders.
size wrong.
So people are saying I can't even get the batteries out.
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh God, well, there goes that dream. There goes that dream. I think there's other brands I can look for.
Yeah, where the batteries fit.
But yeah, so while I'm shopping, I thought, well, let's do, a little thing on gifts that's coming up. Weird gifts. Gifts that you can give your loved one.
Yes, so you don't get in the doghouse.
Yeah, strange gifts. Okay, I was reading about a very freak tree that was found in British Columbia, and I sent you the photo for it or the link to it.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. But this tree is over 1,000 years old, 151 foot tall. Somehow it's, avoided loggers all these years. And it's cedar wood. So isn't that cool?
That is huge.
It's 1,000-year-old cedar tree. These are the ones, Alex, by the way, this is an arborvitae. Okay, this is the tree, the ones everybody plants in front of their house, with the soft, they're not really like hard needles, they're kind of flat, soft green, they're evergreen.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about. The landscaping bush, little round bushes they plant all over your yard.
Yeah, the little bushes.
The little round ones.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
That's what that is. If it grows.
That's what those little round bushes will look like in 1,000 years.
If it's still there. Wow.
Yeah. If you just leave it, let it go wild.
Man.
I just thought it was cool that it escaped. But look at the person down there.
He's tiny.
Normally, like the old cedar trees we get in Minnesota are like stunted. They're old, but they're not big. British Columbia obviously gets a lot more rain and so on. So that's cool.
Grow more.
I like it. And then speaking of trees, I was reading about a poor family that got a Christmas tree home, and they had an owl, a live owl, living in their tree, in their Christmas tree. That's not good.
No. What do you do at that point?
I would think they would have gone right out, gone out and bought an artificial right then and there. What do you think? What would you do if all of a sudden an owl flew out of your Christmas tree?
Oh, I guess as part of the gifts, you get a pet.
Jesus.
It'll help get rid of all that mice.
Yeah. And there was, I get on these topics of green trees, plants. I just start thinking about stuff. And then I noticed an article popped out about how they've now managed to breed a broccoli plant that can thrive in cooler conditions. So we can all enjoy more broccoli in the future, more genetically modified broccoli.
Perfect. Just what we need.
The one veggie. Do you like broccoli, Alex?
I do.
But here's what's more interesting than that. Do you know there's no such thing as a broccoli plant?
I didn't know that.
There's nothing. No. The broccoli plant is the same plant used for kale, cabbage, cauliflower. They come from the same plant.
I never knew that.
Imagine, it's from the wild mustard plant.
So it's all from one plant.
It's all from one plant, all these different vegetables.
So I'm eating a wide variety of vegetables.
No, you're pretty much eating the same damn plant.
Wow.
Just different stages.
Yeah.
If something's flowered, well, then it's cauliflower. That's why they call it cauliflower.
Because it's flower.
Broccoli is more like unbloomed. I know, nobody knows that. Imagine cabbage coming from the same damn plant.
And kale.
And kale. I don't like kale.
Yeah.
I guess that's the damn leaves or something. Kale's got all that phytolist that sticks to your teeth.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really likes kale.
No. I don't even think the guy named Kale likes kale. Anyhow, I just thought that was interesting. I thought I'd bring us kind of a weird untold fact, right?
Yes.
How many people knew that in chat?
Now
I don't
Tons
see
of people
anybody.
do.
Yeah, now they do.
It's no longer untold.
No, it's not. See? Yeah, but it's 6 different vegetables that you can find at any grocery store come from the same damn plant.
That's so cool. I never would have known that.
No. Oh, and the plant is called Brassia oleracea. There we go.
Very cool. Very cool.
See, that's my news. That's not much news, is it?
I think it's interesting trivia.
Broccoli. That's and an owl.
I'm
coming
using
out of
that
a
at
tree,
the next cocktail party I'm at.
and a freak tree tree in British Columbia.
Mm.
So we're going to talk about some Untold Radio gift suggestions, and I suggest you don't buy any of these, but you may want to. You know, if you got somebody you want to kind of gag, or most of them are gag gifts, I guess, but they're so bizarre. It's like, how do you even come up with these as gag gifts? So go ahead and let's
the first one.
Yeah, let's throw up the first one. It's photo 3.
Oh, great gift for Dad.
Yeah. Bofa D's nuts.
Banana nut bread.
So what does bofa mean?
Like both of them?
Oh, see, that went right over my head. Zing! I just gave away my IQ right there.
No.
I would have never have guessed that.
I had to keep saying it till
That's
it clicked.
bofa. Oh my God, I'm bad. Anyhow, so if you want to buy that,
for your dad.
yeah,
great gift for a mom.
Apparently, it's $19 for that candle.
Oh, perfect.
It's only $19, so that's a good thing. All right, next.
The next
you can
one.
get an engraved serial killer spoon.
That is so cool.
Isn't that just cool for $14.99?
Lovely.
Isn't that lovely? All right, it's moving on. Then there's really cute thing. It's just like, it's so cute. The snail soap dispenser for kitchens or bathrooms.
Oh, beautiful. They can slime on you.
Yeah, it slimes you out of its mouth. It salivas you. I'm like, oh my God. Holds 120 milliliters of soap. It's not only $9. This is a good deal. It's only $9.99.
Oh, do you see her nails too? Look at how pretty those things.
Ooh, what in the world's going on there? Okay, the clue's coming loose. Jeez. Anyhow, nothing like being a hand model.
No pressure.
Oh, gosh. Okay, you can't make this crap up, people. Okay, next is the Archie McPhee yodeling pickle. It's a musical toy, fun for all ages.
Wow, look at that
yodeling pickle. And how much? I think it's a good deal. How much is the yodeling pickle that you ask?
Oh, is this for ages 8 and up?
I don't know.
Does it come with batteries? Do you have to get
doubt
out of
it.
your battery case?
I don't even have a
Pull
price
them out
on
with
it.
the pliers.
Price subject to change. Let's move on.
Price subject to change.
Now, this next one, I thought, oh my God, if you actually gave someone this, could you? Because they wouldn't know if you were serious or not. It's the Hey Baby Opossum throw pillow cover.
Oh,
it's not even a pillow; it's just
gorgeous.
a cover. It's 18 by 18 inches. It's for men, women, boys, girls' room.
Definitely for a girl's room.
Think about this. It's $9.99.
Was that thing pre-stained?
It's on sale, by the way. You're saving 38%.
38%.
Yeah, imagine that. All right, that's enough of that.
Get one for Mark.
Yeah, Mark would love one of those
for Christmas.
Yeah. You know that look? You always see everybody. You see it every year. At least once somebody gets a weird gift, they're like, they don't get, they're just like, oh, yuck, or, but they're trying to hide it because as humans, we're not actors.
No.
And you get that, especially kids. They get a gift they don't like or they already have it.
Oh, yeah.
They give you that look.
I've given that look, yeah.
AJ when she was little was like that. She was pretty picky, and then she'd get a gift that she already had. She just blurted out, "Oh, I already have that." All right.
What's this next one? I think I want this one.
Yeah, we'll get you this one. All right, the urinal shot glasses. Set of 2 for only $16.99.
Do you get this if you're trying to quit drinking? Makes you think twice.
Oh, God. And when I found this, I was literally nauseated anyhow with the flu. And I'm going, okay, get rid of it. It's enough of that.
You can see him. He's taking.
Yeah, get it off my screen. And then this one that I'm sure your loved one would appreciate.
Yeah.
It is the tortilla burrito blanket. You can save 34%. Now it's only $22.99.
Wow. This is incredible.
Isn't that incredible? $22.99 on sale, 34% off. The next one is 3D simulation bread, right? Since we had the tortilla, now we have bread-shaped plush pillow.
Beautiful.
And they listed as soft buttered toast. It doesn't look like toast to me. It looks like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, but she seems to really like it.
Yeah, she definitely likes it. It's 31 inches long.
Wow.
It's huge. It's only $29.99. And it's not on sale either. They must be jumping off the shelves.
Yeah, items this hot, you don't get a discount.
No discount. And then the one thing everybody needs, this is the probably the most high demand electronic gadget ever, is the talking toilet paper spindle. And apparently you can record your own messages on here.
Wow, it's got an example. What does it say? Susan, will you marry me?
Yeah.
Once
it says it's great for weddings.
Yeah. Yeah. Proposing.
Yeah. It says weddings, Christmas, birthdays, blah, blah, blah.
Office parties.
Yeah. It's great for office parties.
Pull the paper and hear your message.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. 9
seconds. 10% off. $17.95 for that.
We're living in the future.
For that futuristic gift. Oh
okay.
My God!
Okay,
it says it's a good stocking stuffer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely good for your wedding. Oh my God! Okay, this next one is the new. It's new. Now keep this in mind. It's new. Dunkin' egg yolk separator. It's an egg separator. But it looks like a basketball hoop.
See, this is practical,
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine that on your counter?
I mean, you got to separate the yolk.
Yeah. I just thought that was good. Yeah.
Why not make a game out of it?
Oh, yeah. You could just throw those raw yolks into the basket. It's only $14.95. You better get them while they're hot. You know the worst thing about some of these things? Okay, this one's got 33 ratings. That means people bought these and actually took the time to rate them.
Yeah. Think about all the people who bought them and didn't rate them.
The toilet paper talking spindle, 1,326 ratings.
Oh my gosh.
The giant bread thing has got 4,983 ratings.
It's a hot item. It's a hot gift.
Yeah. And then we have the coffee cups, are everybody's favorite gift when you get a coffee mug, right?
Mm.
What you get somebody when you have nothing. You can't think of what to give them.
Yeah.
Get them a coffee mug.
Great gift for your boss.
Yeah, so you could come out. You should come out with your T-shirt design on a coffee mug.
Yeah.
That's enough of that. You know what?
Enough of that.
So the mug is we can't fix stupid, but we can give it a court date. I love it. 1597.
Worth
Why?
it.
Why the 97?
I mean, you gotta get that last 97 cents or something this hot.
It's 40. Says 145 ounces. Anyhow, that's it. Those are all the gifts. Yeah. So buy some, leave them a rating.
Great gifts for grandma.
Yeah, you get one of each. Get them all.
One for each family member.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll never have to come to Christmas again.
Oh. So one thing I have been drinking a lot of is water. Like I wake up with the driest mouth, Well, because I'm talking to the Lord all night trying to fall asleep.
Yes.
But I've been thinking about water. I've been drinking a lot of water, trying to clear this crap out of my life. But there's a lot of facts on water. You could probably never end in all the cool water facts you could go through. And I know we talked about water, making water. Could a person make water?
Yeah. Could you?
We just determined yes.
Yes.
There's a way to do it under heat. You have hydrogen and oxygen, and then you need heat, and when you put them together, and you can create water.
Exactly.
All right. So, trivia. I don't know if you have any open to make this official.
Okay, we're doing trivia.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
And since trivia focuses on you, I'm going bye-bye. There you go. All right. Don't you love this?
I love it.
So name the 3 forms of water exists. And we're going to start out really easy. 3
Water,
forms.
liquid, gas.
Water? You mean that is liquid?
Ice, liquid gas. Solid liquid gas. 3.
Solid liquid. Did you say solid, liquid, and gas?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's right.
Yeah.
What temperature does water vaporize at?
32 degrees.
That's where it freezes.
Yeah. 100 degrees.
100 degrees it vaporizes?
Yeah.
It's 212
That's
Fahrenheit.
212. Yeah, Fahrenheit.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much water on Earth is suitable for drinking? What percentage?
Like 8%.
8%, 1%.
Oh man.
What's the most common substance found on Earth?
Water.
Yeah, that's right. How much water does the average resident use during the year? How many gallons?
2,000 gallons.
2,000 per year?
Yeah.
100,000.
Whoa.
Yep. 100,000 gallons, the average. Obviously, some people much more. How much water does an individual use daily? Each person?
100 gallons.
Yeah, you're right. 100 gallons. Good job. What does an average person pay for water use on a daily basis?
$3.
25 cents.
25 cents.
Yep, you're overestimate. Although it probably will be $3 soon.
Probably by next year.
Yeah. So, how many community public water systems are in the U.S., for purifying water and like water towers and the like?
1,027.
For the whole country?
Whole country.
54,000.
54,000.
Yep. How much water do these utilities process per day, average? Each one, how many?
1 million gallons.
So between all of them, it's 38 billion gallons per day.
Whoa, that's
Yep.
a ton.
Yeah, so 54,000 of these community public water systems produce, well, they don't produce it, but they process it, right? Get it out of the ground. How many miles of pipeline and aqueducts are there in the U.S. and Canada?
How many? I'm sorry. How many?
I think
aqueducts?
how many miles of pipeline?
Oh, miles.
Yeah.
300,000 miles.
Why did I lose my place? There are 1 million miles. Enough to circle the Earth 40 times.
Wow.
That was worth waiting for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That
That is a long, long way.
So what were this one? No, I guarantee no one will know. What were the first water pipes made from in the USA?
Lead.
Nope. But there were lead pipes. Oh,
There
yeah,
were,
that was a
yeah.
close second. Lots of lead pipes.
Aluminum?
Now let's take the most poisonous metal we can think of and let's build water pipes out of it, right? Okay, so what was the first water pipes made of in the U.S.?
Was it worse than lead? Is that even possible?
I think so. It's more bizarre.
Really?
It's really bizarre.
I can't think of it.
Fire charred board logs. So they used logs that were charred inside
What?
the pipes. Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, your water tasted like whiskey.
Yeah. Why do I have slivers in my throat?
Where was the first municipal water filtration works opened and when? You'd never guess. So I was shocked by this.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Pardon?
Can you repeat that one more time for the?
What was the first municipal water filtration works? You know, they call it waterworks.
Okay,
opened. And when?
Okay, but like.
Where and when?
1927.
Okay.
New York City.
All right. It's a good guess. That's probably what I would guess. Paisley, Scotland in 1832.
Wow.
They set up the world's first municipal water filtration works. Some innovative guy or woman. Of the nation's community water supplies, what percentage are investor owned?
80%.
No, it's 15 only.
Oh, it's only 15. Wow.
Yeah, so those are only 15% are private. How many households in the U.S. use private wells for their water supply? We know Mark probably's got a private well because he's probably lucky enough to live out in the country.
Did you say percentage?
I don't know what the hell I said. I'm out of it. I told you. My memory is about 1 second long. How many households use private wells for their water supply?
How many households? Like in the U.S.?
Yeah, in the U.S.
100 million.
13 million. So there's not that many of them.
No, way less than I thought.
What's the average amount of water that's used to flush a toilet? You know, those little shot glasses.
Yep.
How many gallons?
3 gallons.
You're right in the middle. They go nowadays between 2 and 7 gallons.
2 and 7.
Yeah,
Man.
the old ones are 7, and the new ones that clog all the time are 2.
The ones you gotta flush 4 times.
Yes, those. How much water is used in the average 5-minute shower?
50 gallons.
15 to 25 gallons. How much water is used in the average for an automatic dishwasher? 10
gallons.
That's good. You're right in there. 9 to 12. I want to skip. This is getting boring. I'm even bored.
Oh, come on. You're not.
What is the weight of water in 1 cubic foot of water? What does it weigh?
What is a
cubic foot of water weigh?
25 pounds.
62. How much water does it take to process a 1/4 pound of hamburger?
How much does it take to process a 1/4 pound of hamburger?
Yeah.
Like how much water?
Yeah. Not to raise the beef, but to process it.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that just amount to just clean up?
I'm gonna probably be shocked how high it is, right? Like 112
No,
gallons.
no, it's only 1 gallon.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good then.
How much water does it take to produce 1 ton of steel?
Oh, that's gonna be a ton, right? 1,000 gallons.
It is 62,600 gallons.
Whoa.
How much water is used to produce a single day's of supply of newsprint for the U.S.? How much water is used to produce a single day supply of U.S. newsprint?
300,000 gallons.
300,000 gallons. It's 300 million gallons.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's a lot of water.
How much water does it? No, people don't think about this stuff, but how much water does it take to make a new car, including the tires?
100,000 gallons.
It takes 39. It's good. Yes, it takes 39,090 gallons per car. Who would think you need water to make a car?
Right.
But you do. How much water must a dairy cow drink to produce 1 gallon of milk? And don't say 1 gallon.
62 gallons.
62. It's 4 gallons.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad.
Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. How much water is used during growing of a single orange? Per orange, how much water does it take?
13 gallons.
That's exactly right. You cheated.
I cheated. It's really 13 right on the money.
It's 13, yeah. You cheated. Did you cheat?
No.
That doesn't sound very positive. No.
I'm still shocked I got it right.
How much water must a person consume each day to maintain health? And I do not guarantee this is true information.
1 gallon?
2.5 quarts or 3 quarts or 1 quart from all sources. I don't know what that means.
Like, if you drink
they need to make their mind up.
They drink orange juice and then some water and then a hot cocoa.
Yeah, that's it. That concludes.
Wow, and I only cheated once. I'm on fire.
You just said you didn't cheat.
Well, you're telling me I cheated, so I
think you might have cheated. Somebody cheated.
Mark's been feeding me all the answers.
Oh, Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
You got him. See, that's why you have your guests come on early.
Yep, so they can help me out.
Oh, my God.
I'm patched in.
Shame on Mark. Okay, anyhow.
So what do we got next?
So we've got, we're going to go through 10 clips really, really fast, and we're going to bring Mark on.
Okay, perfect. We will be right back.
You had to actually tell people we're going to be right back.
Oh,
that little 2 seconds.
I know. I don't know why I said that. That was silly.
Yeah. Anyhow, clip 1, I do not want to ever find one of these things. It looks like out of an alien movie. There's no sound. But go ahead and play this. Looks like a piece of coral, but man, it's active.
Whoa.
Just wait. It's right out of a nightmare.
It's right out of like one of those
It looks like
alien movies.
Like Groot.
Yeah.
Didn't Groot, wasn't his name Groot?
Groot?
Groot, didn't he have a roots like that or something?
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Huh.
Oh. I was thinking about you know that what was it? You know that alien movie? You know where they pop out of your stomach?
Yeah, just called Alien.
Yeah, right? Like just one of those like things in one of those caves.
The guy's touching that. Oh, it's some kind of a starfish.
Oh,
That's what it is.
It's freaky though.
I recognized it. Oh, that's definitely a starfish. Yep. Okay. Enough of that.
Enough of that crap.
Let's see here. Clip 2. This is another really creepy thing, and this comes from the Impossible channel. I don't know how he comes up with so much crap, but anyhow, this is interesting. I don't know what it is. I think it's real video. Go ahead and play it.
You're heading to your car in a parking lot of a store, and all of a sudden you see this. Check this out.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. Hey, run up on it. Run up on it. Hell no. Run up on it. What the world?
Hop on it.
I like the guy running, or the lady running. What the hell is it?
No, I'm not running. You run up on it.
Looks
Hop
like
on
a little cloud.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You see that? That's crazy. Yes, it is.
Looks like a ghost car.
Like some of the best camera work I've ever seen.
Yeah, what's this?
Keep it going.
Pointed at his backpack.
It actually lifts off. Did it quit on you?
Yeah.
What do I got going on?
Got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, see, look. It's lifted up.
Oh, yep.
We have liftoff.
It is. It just came from out the sky.
Now, there's a solid material like that called, I think it's called Marcel or something. It's like
Oh, it is.
they call it solid smoke, but I don't think it floats. I don't know. Anyhow.
I tell you what, though, whoever filmed this is going to be the next Spielberg with that camera work.
Yeah, it could end up Blair Witch Project. Okay, so I thought it was cool, though.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
Not common.
Interesting. No, not at all.
So thank you to the Impossible channel. Clip 3. Sound is good. I just wonder how these wonderful, smart dolphins got their name. Go ahead and play it. Sounds good.
Of all the relationships found in the ocean,
Oh my gosh.
of all the relationships found in the ocean, few can beat the spinner dolphins. As well as gathering in huge numbers, they are the acrobats.
Gee, I wonder how they got their name.
They can leap over 10 feet high and spin 7
Isn't that
times
crazy?
in a jump.
Yeah.
But think about it. These dolphins experience both above water and below water. You know, all these mammal sea creatures do. They get to experience both. Oh, well, we do too if we go skin diving. But I do wonder what they think.
It is weird to think about.
Yeah. Anyhow, clip. I'm a little slow tonight. Clip 4. The sound is good. This is performed by apparently a pro. That's what it says, right?
Yes.
But it's basically a snowmobile without the snowmobile. It's just the track. And he puts some kind of, controls on the thing and a handlebar. So it's bare bones, but man, does this thing go? And it's electric. He converted it to electric. Go ahead and play this. It's crazy. It could be a market for one of these things. It looks fun.
Whoa.
Thing goes.
It's like a snowmobile scooter.
That's the problem with snowmobiles. I had one forever, and I didn't use it much. The thing is, they're so big in your garage.
They take up a ton of room.
Yeah, they take up a ton of room. That would be better. All right. Clip 5, sound is good. Don't ever go fishing with your expensive drone. This is why. So apparently he's fishing with his drone. And he caught one.
He's literally.
And he's thinking he's going to fight it.
No.
And the drone lost.
Go one more time.
It was a good idea, though. I thought about that, too.
Can you imagine if it was able to take him right out of the water?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Needs a bigger drone.
Needs a bigger drone, yeah. Or smaller fish.
One or the other.
So this next one is just, it's obviously in a hotel room. It's a pet. I don't know if this is a zoo traveling. Sometimes zoos travel and go to, talk shows. But this is an albino porcupine. And this thing is just crazy. It's crazy looking, crazy acting. Go ahead. Alex is having technical problems.
Yes, I am.
What happened here? I'll bet you got a whole bunch of people streaming a movie tonight.
I think everyone's streaming Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are off right now.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this thing crazy, though?
It's awesome.
Could you imagine? How dangerous those things are? They get in, you can't get them out.
Oh, my gosh.
This thing looks so friendly.
Take
Smart.
an eye out. Look at that thing run.
Yeah, it's got the zoomies. Porcupine zoomies. That clip was much better and kind of when it works.
It's better when it works.
But
yeah.
you get to see the freeze frames. They're kind of cool. It's a Star Wars animal. All right. Have you? The next one is just an illusion. Sound is good. That's good, Alex.
Okay.
It's enough for that porcupine. It's just a great illusion. I like illusions. Go ahead and play clip 7. Sound is good.
Will somebody please explain to me what's going on here? Watch what this guy does with this thing. This thing is an optical illusion like I've never seen before. Look at this.
Here's an extraordinary item made by Professor Koichi Sugihara, who I've met. Does something amazing.
Maybe you better turn the sound down.
Put it on the table where the camera could
Oh,
focus on
yeah.
it.
Do you want to explain what you're seeing here?
Yeah, it's simple. Okay, just look at it, and it's all squares, right angle. Everything's a right angle. All he's going to do is just turn it, and everything's going to gradually turn into perfect circles.
Whoa, that's so cool. That's so weird.
Yeah. I do not know what would cause the illusion, but I have a feeling it's the inner cuts in it and the height and the angle of it.
Yeah, the angle, the height.
So it's angled so you can only see it. So when it's, you're looking into it.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's it.
Very cool.
I'm sure you can buy them on Amazon. $9.99. Okay, have you ever heard of a hail cannon? So when I saw this, it brought back memories. And I do remember these. Go ahead and play this. This is a hail cannon used to disrupt hail production. Like if you're a farm, you've got a citrus grove, and you don't want your crop damaged from it, you fire these into the storm.
Right above, so they fire the oxyacetylene blast up there to disturb the cloud pattern and disrupt the hail. It's incredibly loud. Rocks my whole pickup. It's so loud.
Have you heard of this before, Alex?
No, I didn't know those even existed.
Yeah, no, I did. But I just kind of forgot about them.
That's pretty sweet. I didn't know we could even do that.
Yeah, and it disrupts the hail production.
Still,
I couldn't tell you how.
Yeah, right. I couldn't tell you how that works.
Okay. Sound is good. This one is from Woods Walker Coffee, and he's describing a cool Bigfoot sighting. Go ahead and play it.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm standing in the
Oh.
Let's try this one more time.
guys, what's up? I'm standing in the exact area to where that road crossing of the Bigfoot creature took
I don't
place.
know. My internet is
few
so
days
bad
ago.
tonight. I
The truck
apologize,
driver
guys.
himself was coming basically where you see that car coming from. All right. Let me let it go by and I'll tell you. He said as he was coming around that bend right there, that curve, it was dark, that he witnessed a upright, bipedal-looking creature coming from this direction, dragging a deer, going across the road and off through there. All right.
Wow.
He said that the creature was around 7 foot, maybe just a little bit taller, not much. He said it had black covered fur all over its body. He said it was standing upright like a man, but a lot bigger than a man. A lot bigger is what he described. He said it was dragging that deer with one arm. Now, thing about that is he's not the only one that saw it. He came from that direction and he said he stopped almost where I'm parked right there. He said, but there was another car coming from this direction. And both of them, that car stopped there, he stopped down there, and both of them saw this creature run across this road and take off right down through there, dragging a big deer. Now, like I said, this happened just a few days ago.
That's enough.
I hadn't had a chance to get.
I like stories of these things dragging because you learn a lot. You know, you learn about their food source. You look at the time of year. It makes sense. They would be after, protein dinners. There's not much in the forest that time of year.
No.
There's no berries. There's nothing to eat except meat. Well, it makes sense. I like when things make sense. Last clip. I had all I could really eat today was some raspberries and half a banana. And I have this one little raspberry seed just floating around in my damn teeth.
Oh, the worst.
It just drives me nuts. I can feel it in there, and it's like, and I crush it. You think, okay, I got that one. I even brushed my teeth tonight. All right, anyhow, clip 10, sound is good. This is something I think people will find really interesting. Did you know there's massive barcodes all over the U.S. and other like symbolic things that they use for spy satellites to focus on?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that way they can focus and calibrate their lenses on the satellites. Yeah, well, go ahead and play this. It's really interesting.
How about now? This is a calibration target for a satellite to focus its camera. They're all over the world. It's very possible you live near one of them and never knew it. Like thousands of massive barcodes on Earth's surface. They're
Can you turn it up?
Giant eye charts for aerial surveillance. To focus and orient the lenses on satellites, weather balloons, spy planes, and I'm pretty sure other things we're not supposed to know about hovering over our heads. The oldest one we know about is this 4,000-foot compass drawn in a lake bed at Edwards Air Force Base in California in the 1930s. Lots popped up in the 50s and 60s, which you can visit
that
now.
far back.
So think about that. Yeah.
Including these crosses in Arizona, which cover 16 square miles. They've been replaced by much more
16 square miles across.
We're aware of because, well, we can see them. Assume they.
That is so interesting.
So now if you have nothing to do tonight, you can start going over Google Maps looking for these things.
That is so. How did you find out about that? That's
Isn't
so
that cool?
Yeah.
Anyhow, we are done with the clips. So, we'll take a little quick break, and then we're going to bring Mark on.
Very cool. Be right back, guys.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody out there in Untold Radio Land. This is Brendan Brown, host of the fastest 30 minutes in the cryptid world, This Week in Bigfoot. Here's what we got coming up on this Sunday show for Christmas Eve. Tate Taylor and Dave from Squatch Watchers stop by to bring us up to speed on the busy year hunting Bigfoot and their plans for the upcoming year. Bigfoot Times publisher Dan Perez is back to talk Bigfoot of the Year for 2023 as it's right around the corner. And the boss himself, Doug Hajicek, calls in with an exclusive Legend Meets Science 2 update. These stories and a whole lot more this Christmas Eve on a very special This Week in Bigfoot, only on CARC Universal. You better be there.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
Heidi, hi.
And we're back.
Yes, we're back. I wanted to mention thank you, Charles. That was very kind of you. We've got
Thanks, Charles.
say hello to a couple of people here.
Thanks, Jennifer.
We have members like Charlotte Jan.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Ristall. Catherine Fourfeathers. Thanks for being here. Helton is here. Man, I'm holding up, ain't I?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I
Yeah.
can't even hear myself talk. That's how bad my ears are.
Wow, that must be terrible.
Sucks. Yeah, I can't wait till after Christmas here. I'm getting excited. So anyhow, we've got John Branachuk here. And yes, John, I'm gonna get these travel things all figured out. And maybe you can send me just to save me sick time, send me the list of everybody, and I'll get one of our assistants, Joe, to start booking these flights for Legend Meets Science. And by the way, I did a Legend Meets Science update for This Week in Bigfoot. I did that today.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
And that'll, I guess, going to air on Christmas Eve.
So tune in if you want to hear the update, guys.
Yeah, we were busy last week, man. We spent a lot of money last week. We spent $10,000 just in 1 week on Legend Meets Science too.
Wow.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it goes quick, doesn't it?
Blaine was a little weirded out. He's like, "What?" It's like this is what it is.
Yeah,
it's not much we can do. So if anybody still wants to donate to Legend Meets Science, you still can. Man, okay. So Marc Myrsell, he's a land surveyor apparently by trade.
Yes.
And a public aquarist. I don't even know what that is. I guess somebody maybe studies aquifers and.
We'll have to we'll ask him about that.
I'm curious about that. In Southwest Washington, and has apparently found a specialty in historical monster attack research.
Interesting.
Right? I know a lot about monster attacks, only on me. It says in Southwest Oregon, over the course of 30 years, miners and hunters have had numerous sightings and at times violent encounters with large hair-covered creatures in the hills above, Port Orford, resulting in the methodical killing of 4 men whose murders are still unsolved. I want to get some details on that too. Maybe we should start there. I'm curious.
That'd be cool.
Anyhow, let's just get
dive in.
Mark on. He's been waiting long enough here.
Hey, Mark.
Well, hey, Doug and Alex.
Hey, Mark. Good to meet you.
Oh, well, great to see you, Doug. Yeah. Alex, I switched my devices since the last time we did this about an hour ago for a sound check. Is this okay for sound? And
yeah,
you sound great.
Okay, right on. So I'd like to start, Doug. I feel you, man, because about like a day ago, my family has been sick, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. But last night I was like, no. I was like feeling like all this in my throat and around my sinuses and everything. And this morning I was like waking up, and I was like, I'm laid out in bed, and I was talking with my wife in bed, and I was like, man, this is a live show. I don't know if I can do this. But I was thinking about it, there's that scene out of the Blues Brothers where Jake and Elwood are in the tunnels, just below the Palace Hotel ballroom.
Yeah.
And Elwood says to Jake, you got a show to do, man. You better get bright, pal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, okay. I got to go on for Doug and Alex. So I made it.
Well,
barely. I don't think I'm as medicated as you, Doug, but
oh man, it's just it's been bad. It's been bad.
Yeah.
And normally I am healthy. I mean, I've never missed an Untold Radio in what, three years? Not one.
Okay. Yeah.
But lately it's just been bad luck. A lot of weird stuff going on, and of course, a lot of it has to do with how people that loved ones are exposed to.
Exactly.
And usually when they come back and they're coughing, I'm still all like cuddly, and I don't care. I'm not gonna use the sick stick.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we're too old. We pretty much got everything that we were. I think we pretty much got everything that we were supposed to get.
You figure what doesn't kill us just makes us stronger.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So anyhow, okay. So I'm not even
aware.
Enough
of that.
Yeah, I'm not even aware
enough of that crap.
Of some of these cases that you have worked on. We're going to get into Ape Canyon, of course.
Sure.
We got lots of time. But there was some violent encounter with large hair-covered creatures in the hills above Port Orford. I've never heard of this.
And sorry to interrupt, but just before you begin, Mark, I just want you to know I do have the photos you sent. So if you do want to share them at any one point, just let me know.
Oh, Alex, I'm gonna leave that up to you to interject those photos, however you want to. Those photos that I sent to you are all regarding Ape Canyon.
Okay, very cool.
What Doug is referring to doesn't have anything to do with those photos.
Okay,
and
so maybe later when we talk about Ape Canyon.
But what Doug is referring to, Doug. I have to tell you, I think that you do know about the Thompson Flat monster, the wild man of the Sixes, down in Southwest Oregon. It's the most southwest. No, yeah, you do. Let me tell you the story.
Okay.
Because when I got into the Ape Canyon project like over a decade ago, I would ask people, hey, have you heard about Ape Canyon in 1924? And they would be like, no, I haven't heard about that. But once I got into telling them what happened in 1924 at Ape Canyon, they're like, wait a minute, I've heard this story. Doug, I think you've heard the story about Thompson Flat and the Wild Man of the Sixes. It's down in the most southwest county in Oregon. And it took place on the South Fork of the Sixes River. And it was a long-term set of encounters with a wild man. the funny thing about this wild man that kept being repeated in these stories starting around 1874, 1876, going into the 1920s, this wild man was described as not this 12 to 18 foot tall huge monster. This creature was bipedal, about 6.5, maybe 7 feet tall, and regularly described as being entirely covered with yellowish blonde hair.
Wow.
Unlike our paradigm of what we think of as Sasquatch, as Bigfoot, our paradigm is Patty, black, dark brown fur. These creatures in this local area were blonde to yellowish fur. Well, it all started when a prospector was going out looking for gold around 1874. So his name was Nugget Tom in Curry County. And he was out prospecting. He was bent down, digging in the ground, and something from behind him grabbed him by his clothes and was able to pick him up bodily off the ground, throttle him, beat him up, and throw him down off a bluff. He was up there by himself, and he had told his friends in town where he was going and where he was prospecting up on Star Mountain. Nugget Tom's not coming back, so they go up and they go looking for him a few days later. They find him unconscious at the bottom of a bluff, yard him back into town and nurse him back to health. And the story is that one of his friends had picked up all of his stuff, and they found in his pack a huge hunk of quartz. And on the end of that hunk of quartz was one of the largest gold nuggets that guy had ever seen. It started what was called the gold rush of Southwest Oregon, right? This is not that far after the Sutter's Mill gold rush, right? And so a lot of people started going up there into the South Fork of the Sixth River looking for gold. Well, when they were up there over the course of years, they started having these encounters, and they weren't just fleeting, just like what we would now call road crossings of these creatures. These were very aggressive kind of encounters with these creatures. And so there was, shortly after Nugget Tom, there were two fellows who had a claim up there. They went up there to their camp after working their claim, and there's this big bruiser, a huge creature, just trashing their camp like crazy. They take a couple of shots at it. These two fellows were named Benson and Robinson. The shot seemingly had no effect. The two men backtrack and they split. Regardless of this creature up there, apparently scaring up these miners, this got to be a huge settlement, a huge camp of gold miners. They weren't working one big claim. They were working their individual placer claims in this very, very limited area on the Sixes. They would work their individual claims and come back and share food up a camp. Well, around 1886, there was a fellow who didn't come back to camp. His name was John Jensen. And where's John? He's not in his cabin. He's not in his tent. Two fellows go up to his claim, and they find him dead with his head bashed in, apparently with a bloodied rock laying right next to him. So, golly, we got to get rid of John. They bury him in a nearby plot. A few weeks later, there's another one, John McClone. John McClone is found with his body beaten to a pulp, and he's dead right by his placer claim. They take him and they put him in the thing. This happens 2 more times over the period of about 18 months. 4 men are dead.
Jeez.
Right around this area of these creatures who have very, very aggressive tendencies. One of the last ones was this guy named Mike Madigan. His name was Grizz. His nickname was Grizz Madigan because he had a previous encounter with a bear that clawed his face and he had scars. So his name is Grizz Madigan. Everyone at this point had pretty much left this camp. Grizz Madigan was kind of known as the camp hunter. He had a placer claim up there for gold. But there was one point where he's out with his 2 hunting dogs. He and his 2 hunting dogs see this creature up on top of a hill, and one of his dogs takes off after the creature. The creature, again, 6 to 7 feet tall, covered with yellow blonde hair, grabs the dog, starts throttling the dog. Madigan is taking shots into the creature to no effect. The creature throws the dog down the bluff. The second dog takes off after the creature. Madigan takes shots at it, and the shots aren't doing anything. Madigan turns and he goes back home.
Jeez.
So Madigan is the last one up there, about 1880. Well, no, excuse me, 1889, 1890. And he's the only one up there. He hasn't been seen in weeks. His friend from town, Ramrod Ramsey, Dave Ramsey, goes up to look for him. He goes up to his cabin, which is still there, and his claim, Madigan can't be found. But Ramsey sees this large pile of rocks, seemingly piled in a unnatural fashion. He digs out the rocks, and sure enough, there's Madigan in there. Ramsey says that he recognized Madigan because of his revolver and his knife on his belt. And after that, pretty much nobody went up there until about 1904 to still work the gold. But what this is down in Curry County on the South Fork of the Sixes River. This is a 30-year history of very, very aggressive encounters with this large hair-covered creature. It was also confused in Ivan Sanderson's book as the Chetco Devil Massacre. But
I'm telling you, Mark, I've never heard this story.
Okay, I could have sworn you did, but
no,
okay.
I would have covered it in Monster Quest. I'd ever heard it.
Okay, well, I can tell you all about it later. More than that.
Did you find newspaper? How did you research this particular incident?
Well, this is, I got to tell you, and I tell everyone, I'm sure Doug and Alex, you are married to the very most wonderful people in the world. And maybe I agree with you, but no, I'm married to the most wonderful person in the world. My wife is a longtime librarian and teacher. She comes from a long line of archivists and librarians. And so what librarians and archivists do, if they know you, Doug, if they know you, Alex, is like, oh, well, I'm in the library. I find something that you might be interested in. It may be something that you've seen before. Maybe not. And they bring it home to you. That's what librarians and archivists do. So my sweetheart brings home this small little booklet, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a compendium. It's like 60 pages long. It's a double folded booklet that's stapled in the middle, and it's a compendium of historical encounters with Sasquatch around Oregon, Washington, a little bit of British Columbia. She brings this home, and in 1904, there's this short little 3-sentence paragraph of where the Harrison cabin was attacked in Curry County, Oregon, wherein within the period of a week, the cabin was attacked twice by this large creature, right? And that got me going because it's weird. It was in 1904. It's a gold mining area, and a cabin was attacked. This was 20 years before the Ape Canyon incident, and it was 500 miles away from Ape Canyon, and that got my interest.
So
it was
close.
like, holy smokes, what if there's evidence of this 1904 Harrison cabin that could still be found? And so this was like my second midlife crisis after Ape Canyon. I went out there to look for the Harrison cabin that was attacked. It took me about 6 years or so on the Ape Canyon cabin, but for the Harrison cabin, it was quick and dirty. And a friend of mine who saw me rediscover the 1904 Harrison cabin, he said, man, that almost seems staged, because we had so much evidence of where this Harrison cabin was. And it was at Thompson Flat. It's a very limited area. Thompson Flat is like about, I don't know, maybe 75 feet by 200 feet of a very limited flat area. And the cabin, the Harrison cabin, was supposed to be about 10 by 10, 10 by 12. And you could see in this small flat area where this square of vegetation was different than the rest of the vegetation around it. And so I started using metal detector work up there, and my metal detector got a hit. And so I'm digging, and it was just this small 1/2-inch piece of iron pipe that was twisted, and I dig it out, and it looks like an old tool handle. Well, I'm down about 8 or 10 inches, and I'm on my knees, and I'm digging out all the stuff out of the hole, and it's between my knees. And my friend Kim was like, looks between my knees and points at it. It's like, wait a minute, is that a bullet? And sure enough, right between my knees was an old brass casing that was inside this square where we thought that the cabin was. And it was pointed right at an apple tree that was part of the story where these miners took shots at this creature attacking the cabin. Fortunately, the butt stamp of the casing was clear enough. We were able to date that casing, and that bullet casing was made between 1896 and 1924, fitting the 1904 timeline when this Harrison cabin attack took place. And it was just pure dumb luck, frankly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So anyway, the short story is, yes, we found the 1904 Harrison cabin attack up at Thompson Flat around the Thompson Flat Monster Project. So
and originally
there's a lot more to do up there for sure.
And originally the story was covered by the newspaper, the local newspaper.
Sorry. Yeah, you bet. The 1904 Harrison cabin attack was published about 2 or 3 times. But before that, the Wild Man of the Sixes, the Thompson Flat Monster, the newspaper accounts go back to, Nugget Tom was around 1874, 1876 or so, smattering. The Myrtle Point Herald is one of the best newspapers in the area, and that got started about 1898. But Coos Bay News, different papers around that area, even though this was the newest county in Oregon, it's very surprising. I think it has to do something with the mining economy and the logging economy at the time. There were about 4 or 5 newspapers in that region in Southwest Oregon and Northern California that covered that area. So there's a lot of newspaper record in that area about what was going on, booze, prostitution, monsters in the woods, whatever. But there's plenty of newspaper records that span, 25, 30 years or so regarding these encounters with this 6 to 7 foot tall creature covered in blonde and yellowish hair. So there's a lot more to research up there.
Well, these cabin attacks sound like fantasy. Even the Ape Canyon story, it sounds that way. But I've lived through numerous cabin attacks, and I go, that stuff ain't fantasy. And do you think it's more likely these creatures were more aggressive back in those days when there was less people, where an encounter was far more uncommon. Like right now, we don't normally get a lot of Bigfoot attacks in national parks and other areas where people frequent. But I do wonder, because we were just up at Snow Grove again this late summer. And once again, cabin was attacked on night 1 and night 2. It's some of the scariest things I've ever gone through.
Doug, I gotta say that it's always been in the back of my mind concerning these aggressive attacks. Excuse me, these aggressive attacks on cabins maybe has something to do with the fact that 1900, 1910, you and I could go up into the national forest, lay a claim for mining, for logging, and build a cabin readily. Today, you and I can't. There's no way that we would get permits in order to build a cabin up there.
Right.
100 years ago, sure. You lay a claim. Well, it's your claim. Go ahead and build a cabin. So what I'm saying is perhaps these cabins that were attacked 100 years ago was much more of a human, us three human sort of occupying force, where today you and I go up and we can go up for a day, or we can camp out at night, maybe for a night or two. But building a cabin is much more of an occupation. I am laying claim to this, maybe attracting more of the
aggression,
forest occupation that doesn't want us there. And
well, I do wonder about the Snow Grove, because you get flown in there by a float plane. You would think these creatures are less likely to run into any people. And I just find it odd, the Snow Grove situation. And the actual pilot, the guy that owns the outfitting, he just told us about a cabin attack. I think it's about 50 flight miles from, it was a fur trapper cabin that was attacked so bad that all of the fur trappers that use the cabin won't go back there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's about 50 miles north of Snell.
Sure, but
my point, Mark, is this stuff sounds like fantasy, but I can tell you it ain't. From personal experience.
I completely agree. And one of my great friends, again with the Thompson Flat Monster up in Curry County, Oregon, her name's Kim Christensen, and she decided, she grew up pretty close to there, about 20 miles away. Well, actually, she lives 20 miles away. She actually grew up 10 miles away, and she's about 55 or so. And you have to realize what Southwest Oregon was at the time in the 60s and 70s. She grew up with wood stove and oil lamp. She said that when she was 12 years old, they got their first TV, in 1975 or 1976. It got 3 stations. But she was growing up in a coastal Oregon, very rural kind of condition, right? And so she, frankly, Kim is pretty cool, because she's about 5 feet tall. She weighs 90 pounds. And she can kill and trap and do anything. She's very much a survivalist. So she decided on one of these cabins she knew at Thompson Flat. She knew the claim owners, and she was like, I'm going to be a gold miner. Can I borrow or lease your gold claim for 6 months? And her friends were like, sure. And so this is about 1.5 miles from the closest logging road up there. And she was down there with her dog, her 2 very young children that she had to pack in for about 1.5 miles. And her cabin was attacked. The cabin was attacked, and all she had was a little 6-shooter revolver. And she's held up there. And fortunately, the attacker that shook the cabin was trying to beat their way in there. The attacker went away, and it was a large hair-covered creature. The thing is, Doug, is that over and over, when we talk about these cabin attacks, sometimes it's an individual creature attacking the cabin. Sometimes, in the case of Ape Canyon, it's multiple creatures. These things, these individuals could get into the cabin and completely destroy you. But they don't.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They don't. It's enough just to scare you.
Scare the living crap out of you.
And never come back. And that's over and over again. What you mentioned up north, I'm never going back there ever again. And it works. I'm never going back there again. And I tend to think that in these cabin attacks, they're not meant to kill you and tear you to shreds. It's just enough to scare you away.
So they just want you to leave their territory.
Sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you had any experiences where you've been in these spots, these hot spots that are probably still hot spots, still remote? Have you had encounters?
Did I? That's a leading question, Doug. Did I ever send you anything? I don't think I did.
I'm not aware of anything.
Okay. I'll send you something in a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll give you a description.
Yeah, please.
I'll give you two descriptions. The first one, it's difficult to talk about this. I tell people that I'm just the objective academic historical research guy for monster history, you know. And so when I've gone through, mind you, let me back up. I want to say that in the Sasquatch Bigfoot research community, I'm the new guy. I really feel like I'm the new guy. But with my Ape Canyon research, so many people who have been doing the research a heck of a lot longer than I have really dig Ape Canyon and really dig apparently what I'm doing. And they have very graciously invited me in to the Bigfoot research community. I've made so many great friends who have much bigger brains than I do. I've met anthropologists, microbiologists, hair analysis, trackers, all these great people who have, like, you know, wanted to talk to me, right? And so it's difficult for me being in this position because I get approached by people and they want to share their story with me, which is great. I very much want to hear your story. But up until what I heard, what I saw, I didn't fully understand their story. Even though I heard their story and I took it, I took it as truth. I took it as their story is their story. I didn't fully understand it until what happened to me, because now I realize it's sort of a form, not to discount what a lot of first responders and combat veterans have gone through, but I realize it's sort of a form of PTSD, kind of, where when you have this encounter, it's so mind-bending that you can't help but loop it through your brain over and over and over again. You can't not talk about it. So to answer your question, Doug, in 2013, when the cabin site was found up at Ape Canyon, there were 5 of us. And the cabin site was found in 2013 up at Ape Canyon. And we're up there back at camp. And a fellow in our camp, a guy named Ben, said, "Shh, quiet, shut up. Come here. And where we were camped was a flat plateau on a butte, and there's a draw that goes down into a bowl, and then it shoots straight up onto the mountain, up onto the ridge, headed straight up towards Mount St. Helens. We're about a mile from the epicenter of Mount St. Helens. We're about a mile and a quarter.
Okay.
And we all go up there, and the sun is just setting. This is the third week of June of 2013. And sure enough, we're all quiet. And up there on the ridge, up at the tree line, we can hear something. We can hear something talking, and I can't discount that it sounded pretty much just like Ron Moorhead Sierra sounds. And it was this howling, gibberish talk like David Ellis talks about, gibbering, and it was like, and it went on and on and on and on. And it shuts up. And we're all pretty astounded. And we're sitting there for a couple of minutes. And if you could look up at that tree line where that sound was coming from where that suspicious sound was coming from, and you track it down the ridge line, estimated like 600 feet, maybe 700 feet, there's a second one. And it goes on and on and on. So the second one and the first one talks back and forth to each other for a little bit. A few minutes later, there's a third one. A few minutes later, there's a fourth one. And then way down the ridge, the other four people that I was with couldn't hear it, but I could have sworn I heard a fifth one, maybe a mile down the ridge. And all night long, it's the five of them are talking back and forth to each other all night long up at Ape Canyon. My friend Brad said it best. There was nothing to do except go to bed about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and pull the sleeping bag up over your ears and please go away. In the morning, through the screen of my tent, on Sunday morning, the light is about the same as the sun going down the previous night. Sure enough, I could hear them talking up there.
Gosh.
And so I managed to go back to sleep. And around 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, we're getting up and making coffee. And Ben was like, "Did you guys smell that?" And we're like, "No." And apparently there was such a massive, musky animal smell right there between our tents that it woke them up.
Jeez.
And I said, "Well, did you look out?" And he's like, "Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, it's like, no, you don't want to see anything.
So that was the audio, the suspicious sounds up at Thompson Flat. I'll tell you briefly.
Yeah, but that's not a vague story. I mean, you had a lot of time to listen and hear this, and you had witnesses, and it didn't sound like it was real faint either, right? Some of it was quite loud, I would imagine.
No, there were five of us.
Jeez.
There were five of us, and we all heard the same thing. We all woke up to Ben saying, "Did you guys smell that?" And it was the previous before Saturday. It was the previous night on Friday, where my friend Brad got up about 2 a.m. to go pee, and he goes to the edge of camp, and he describes it pretty well. He said it sounded like a drunken biker on meth. Jeez. There was somebody there in the bowl in that draw. And it was like, talking to him. Scared him.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked that question.
What I'm going to send to you, Doug, regards Thompson Flat, where I was driving out at Thompson Flat in Curry County, Oregon. And just the short story was that 200 feet in front of me, it was November, about 5 o'clock, Forest Service road, maybe enough for a car and a half. And it was dark, with the forested trees around me, and 200 feet in front of me, who is playing in the middle of the road with a fireman's outfit on, who is messing around in the dark with a traffic flagger's outfit on. All I saw was yellowish beige and a singular individual, bulky, like a fireman's outfit or like a traffic flagger's coat on, and who's playing in the middle of the road. This can't be real. And sure enough, it starts to dart across the road, stops, turns to look down to the riverbank, and a second individual is coming up. Bam! And they go across the road. Shane Corson, my good friend, calls it a confirmation experience. I can't say that I saw Sasquatch, but I saw two upright individual bipedal creatures, about 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in blonde yellow hair.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into Ape Canyon. Just to let you know, I was in Ape Canyon. I actually
really
brought a bunch of high-tech equipment and lowered cameras down into the canyon. You know, I was thinking, well, maybe we'll see bones or God knows, just to kind of explore. But it was just really interesting to lower cameras over the ledges. It's a beautiful area. I mean,
it's
absolutely
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
absolutely.
This goes back. I was there and must have been around 2001 with Matt Moneymaker.
Oh, neat. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Moneymaker never told me that. I only hung out with Matt for about a weekend or so. But no, Matt never told me that.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely incredible. And one of the interesting things about the Ape Canyon project is that if you look at the aerial photos before and after the eruption, that immediate area around Pumice Butte, where you were, Doug, around Ape Canyon, that whole area around Pumice Butte and Ape Canyon was very little affected by the Mount St. Helens eruption. Comparing the aerial photos before and after the eruption has changed very, very little, which kind of led to my quest of the cabin site in the mine.
So was it protected? Is it protected?
It's absolutely protected. Yeah. In the Gifford Pinchot National Forest, for a longest time before the volcano blew, was all national forest. And then shortly after, a good ranger friend of mine named Jim Nealand became the head of the volcanic monument. Jim Nealand did an archaeological and historic resources study of the Gifford Pinchot. This was like around 1978 or 1977. He hung out with Harry Truman at Spirit Lake Lodge and identified all of these historic sites that should be protected in the Gifford Pinchot. He identified Ape Canyon, the 1924 Ape Canyon incident, as a historically protected site, even though he told me they didn't know where it was. The reason why is that they made it protected so that when the site was identified, it would be automatically protected, right? Jurisdictionally by the federal government. So yes, the site is protected under for an historic resource. It's also protected where there's no logging or mining permitted.
Wow.
Either.
I used to talk with Fred Beck's son quite a bit.
Ronald?
Yeah, Ronald, yeah.
You met Ronald Beck?
Well, on the phone. Yeah, on the phone. Numerous times.
You know, I missed him, I guess, by about 2 weeks or so. I understand that I understood that he was in a rest home right by the Longview Public Library in Longview. And I went in there to try to interview him. But the deceptionist told me that he had moved on, and then later he died. Doug, our mutual friend John Pickering, also interviewed Ronald before his death, but I missed interviewing Ronald that much. I wish I could have interviewed Ronald. So Doug, what did you talk about with Ronald?
Well, obviously I just questioned the living heck out of him about the story and his dad, and did he believe it, and just all this stuff. And he had sent me a whole bunch of papers, and of course I did get that pamphlet book, the Ape Man book.
Yeah, I fought the Ape Man in Mount St.
The Ape Man, yeah. But yeah, it was interesting, the whole thing. And I'll send you a link to the show I did with Ron, his interview.
Oh, dang, Doug, I don't even know about that. Really?
No, I know nobody knows about it. I'll get it
send it to me, dude. Oh, please, I'd love it.
Link to you. Yep. In fact, I'll send you, you're going to laugh, but you can just have it for your records. It's a VHS tape of the show. That's how far back this goes. But it's sealed. It's like sealed in plastic. I'll get you one and I'll sign it and give it to you. But it's got some historic value, I think.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, it should be
Absolutely.
archived.
Yeah.
So anyhow, all right. So Ape Canyon. I know Alex has got some question. I can see it. Alex, do you want to dive in here? I've been kind of hogging Mark.
Yeah, this is gonna sound strange, but have you ever
Go
got
ahead.
any inspiration from your dreams when it comes to any of this research?
That's the first. Alex, are you asking me that, or is a guest asking me that?
I'm asking you that.
Oh, you're asking me that, Alex. Really? Well, first, I tend to take the Plato method. Why are you asking me that?
Yeah, why, Alex?
Well, it's interesting where people, get their inspiration from, as far as like pulling all the pieces together. I mean, you must have been spending a lot of nights puzzling over all this and how it comes together. Have any solutions or, new breakthroughs or?
Well, yeah. Well, of course, when we're involved with a major project, especially like a midlife crisis like I have, like Ape Canyon, we tend to live and breathe it, right? And so we lay awake nights, or it's 3 a.m. and we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that, and so of course we're living it, on any good research project. But as far as inspiration goes, I can't say dreams really inspired me, honestly. What inspired me?
Okay.
That was a weird question, even for Alex.
Yeah, that was a weird question.
Yeah, it was totally left field here. How about this?
Can we talk about this privately, Alex? Like, what's inspired you in your dreams?
What about your wife? Well, what does she think of the whole Bigfoot thing and Ape Canyon and all?
Yeah,
that?
That's fascinating. That's terribly fascinating. Familiar relations. Doug, I'm gonna answer your question, Alex. But Doug, did you ever get a chance to meet Richard Grover or talk with Richard Grover?
Oh yeah, just hang on a second.
Yeah, I knew you did.
Why am I getting this like?
No, Dick Grover.
It's like the name is like right there. Like I know
he was a Sasquatch researcher along the generation of Larry Lund and Andrews and all those guys. There's like the second generation are in the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Richard Grover. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it while you're pulling this up, Doug, the reason why I bring it up is because I was able to interview Dick Grover for about an hour or so. And he warned me before he died about November and a half, well, 2 Novembers ago. And he warned me about the curse of Bigfoot. Richard Grover was a longtime researcher from the late 60s through the 80s. And he spent so much time researching Bigfoot that he said that it compromised his family life. And he had many, from what I understand, he had many arguments with his wife about how much time he was spending time researching Bigfoot. So I took that to heart, and my sweetheart, my wife, and my family are incredibly interested about my brand of Sasquatch research as far as the history goes, and they support it. Sometimes I am under the curse where I've spent too much time at it, and I'm reminded of it. Like, hey, don't spend too much time with Doug and Alex on their podcast, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Or don't spend too much time at the library or the National Archives.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Do you think is your wife a believer, or does she think it's a bunch of hogwash?
Somewhere in between. Again,
she's open-minded.
My wife is a librarian and an archivist, and she believes in evidence. Let's say that. As Michael Freeman says, we're in the business of evidence, and she believes in evidence.
Yeah, it's true. I see John Pickering is in the audience. Hi, John. John's like the most awesome guy ever.
Before our viewers tear us apart, if I don't mention this, could you at some point, it doesn't need to be right now, but could you talk about, is it the Fife Heights incident? We've had a bunch of people.
Fife Heights.
You know what they're talking about, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, Doug. Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I'm a complete ignorant fool on this stuff.
No, yes, you do. Let me go back to my childhood. I was born a simple man in Newport, Oregon. No, I'm kidding. Let me go back to my childhood.
You almost had me there.
What? One of the things about Ape Canyon that I always remember when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I'll never forget seeing late TV, watching Sasquatch Legend of Bigfoot on the Late Show, because Sasquatch Legend of Bigfoot had one of, up until recently, one of the seminal great recreations of the Ape Canyon incident, with these huge creatures up on the hilltop throwing these boulders down onto the cabin site. I think Sasquatch Legend of Bigfoot was 1976 or so. Great movie. But as far as the Fife Heights incident goes, it was simply a 60-second clip out of Bigfoot Man or Beast. If I am correct, I need to be corrected. I believe it was a Ron Olson production, American Films, and he had a 60-second clip, again, of Richard Grover. This is the scene of the
I'm starting to remember Richard now.
Okay. Let me give you some more, Doug. Let me give you some more. This is the scene of the Fife Heights incident.
Because Richard, just let me stop before I forget. Richard was always dressed to the hilt in like the safari kind of.
Yeah.
That's Richard, right?
Yeah, he was in this gorgeous, like, tweed brown jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a look. I remember him. He was very he just had a very well-to-do manner about him.
Right. Yeah, look it up. Bigfoot Man or Beast. And I think that was 74 or so. and it's about 5 or 6 minutes in. You have to search for it because it's only like about 60 seconds long. But what had happened up at Fife Heights, it's a residential neighborhood. Fife, Washington is around Tacoma, and it's sort of following the low waterways around I-5, but Fife Heights is a raised hill, maybe about 300 feet tall, where there's this 1960s, 1950s suburban neighborhood. Well, what had happened was Richard Hancock, the names just came back to me. Richard Hancock and Eric Apple were coming home from a party late at night, and they were coming home, and Dick Hancock was frankly driving Eric Apple around to have him come down from his binges at the party before Hancock dropped him off at Eric Apple's parents' house. They come up to this residential intersection, and this residential intersection, you see residential house, and the stop sign. Just to the left of this intersection, there's this steep drop off that goes down into the creek, like a straight down 200-foot drop down into the creek. Right by the stop sign, they say this is about, well, the stories vary between 2 in the morning and 4 in the morning, but right by the stop sign, they see this creature that its head is above the top of the signpost of the stop sign. And the creature takes 2 or 3 strides across the road. It hits the headlights, and just before it drops down into the creek, it grabs, as like a handhold, a left-hand turn yield sign, like a diamond sign with a black left-hand turn yell. It bends the sign and goes down into the creek. The first person who hears about this, because he happens to be in the area, is Dick Grover. He interviews Dick Hancock and Eric Apple, and then shortly after that, about a week later, he goes to the county street department and gets the yellow bent sign with the scratches on the back of it. The reason why I got into the Fife Heights incident was Bigfoot, Man or Beast, the 60-second clip. Where's that sign? Where is that? I want to find where that sign is. And so I was able to track down Dick Hancock.
Trick or track.
And interview him about it. I talked to Dick Grover, and he told me this long story about how he lost the sign and where the sign might be. But I'm still on the track of that bent sign with the scratches on the back.
So if I told you I had the bent sign,
huh?
I said, if I told you I had the bent sign, you'd be happy.
Yeah, well, John Andrews says he has a bent sign, but it's not that bent sign.
By the way, John mentioned, is it the Mountain Devils episode of Mysterious Encounter? I believe so, John. So he was asking about, Yep, I believe that's the one. But I don't know for sure. It's been too many years ago. I know I have it. That's all I know.
Okay.
So, okay. So, all right. Well, let's get back to Ape Canyon here.
Yeah.
That's what that would. So, didn't you recently just find the mine too?
No. Yes. No.
Yes. No.
The mine has been found, but I didn't find it.
Oh, you didn't. But who did?
No, I did not. I don't know how to say this because it sounds like I'm lying or bragging, but I did find the cabin site in 2013.
Right.
Then I got caught. Well, as part of the research for Ape Canyon, because it's just not going out and finding stuff. There's a bunch of document research and other kinds of research that goes on. I was able to track down two different factions of the family members of the original miners. Talked to Rod Beck, who is Fred Beck's grandson. Talked to him for a long time, multiple times. One of the most fruitful connections was with the Mitchell family. The Mitchell family, I was able to contact and become friends with a woman named Betty Mitchell, who is the daughter of the youngest of the original miners. The youngest of the original miners is Leroy Perry Smith, and he was about 18 or 19 in 1924. And his son, Roy, and his daughter, Betty, are still alive. And I was able to make contact with Betty a few years ago. Well, the funny thing about Betty Mitchell, she's the daughter of the youngest of the miners. She grew up in Kelso Longview. And growing up in Kelso Longview, small mill town, lumber town, everybody right by Mount St. Helens, everybody knows about the Ape Canyon attack in 1924. It's just local lore. She knew growing up when she was a kid about the Ape Canyon attack. It wasn't until I contacted her doing a family historical research project. It wasn't until I contacted her that she found out it was her dad and her grandfather and her Uncle Fred. She didn't know before that it was her family. She knew about Ape Canyon, but she didn't know it was her family that was directly involved with it, which was a trip. So with Betty, I was able to get in contact with younger members of her family. And this August, it was Braden Mitchell, her grandson, and her other two grandsons, Jake and Jared. They were going to come up and meet me in July because I was up there in July, but they couldn't come up and meet with me. And I gave them detailed instructions about how to get down to the cabin site. I wouldn't tell anybody, but it's their family story, right? It's their great grandfather that was involved in the Ape Canyon incident. So it's like, okay, I'll give you detailed instructions about how to get to the cabin site, but you can't share it with anybody regardless. This is a very, very dangerous area to go down. It's very precipitous and you're taking your life in your hands, frankly, to get down there. So it took them about 3 tries. And on the third try, they got to the cabin site, and then they went just a little bit farther. I had been down there. I was within like 50 feet of the mine entrance, but they were able to find it this August. They were able to find the Vendor White mine of these gold miners. So it's like, it's bonus.
Interesting.
It's great.
I mean, would your dream be that cabin somehow gets even rebuilt historically and is the area is preserved and there's, I mean, what would be your dream?
Well, the area is already protected, like you had brought up, Doug. The area is already protected, right? Because of being under the Volcanic National Monument and being a historical resource for the Gifford Pinchot. So it's automatically protected. I guess my dream is that I have one more trip next year, one more field work trip on the Ape Canyon site, and then after that, I'm making copies of my entire file and all my findings, and I'm turning it over to a good contact I have named Matt, who is the one of the head archaeologists for the Gifford Pinchot. Basically after that, it's entirely up to him. It's entirely up to him to keep on protecting the site. An old friend who helped the Gifford Pinchot out gave me a great quote. The best way to protect a site, protect a historical research site, or protect an archaeological site is to not tell anybody where it is.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. And it needs to be protected. So that's why I'm kind of like hesitant to tell a lot of people about where it is.
Have you been to the mine that supposedly
No.
it was?
No. Well, yes. Yeah, yes, I have, but no. I would basically, you can't see the mine unless you're standing right on top of it. You can't see it from any way. But I was within about 50 feet of it or so.
How far is the mine from the cabin site?
It's only about 75, 80 feet.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But you're talking like that, where the cabin's here and the mine's here. You just can't see it. And honestly, the weird thing is that the cabin and the mine site is only about a quarter of a mile off of the main trail, off the main Ape Canyon trail that mountain bikers and everyone takes. It's only about a quarter mile off the trail, but it takes like about an hour and a half to get off trail down to the cabin site. And I think that's why from 1936, the last time the cabin site was actually identified, up until 2013, that's why it took 80 plus years for the cabin site to be found again.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to gold, a little dangerous spot's probably a good thing. If you're trying to keep what you're doing secret. And
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I do have to tell you, I do have to tell the two of you something. I already told Alex. This year has sort of been a seminal year in Ape Canyon history, because August, the Mitchell guys found the mine entrance, and that was huge. That was huge.
Well, it really just confirms the whole dang story.
Oh, absolutely. So next year on my next working trip, I'm going to be doing the survey trip to map all of this stuff out. But really, what has happened in the past, let's see, about 5 days, 6 days or so, I was able, through a lot of contacts, how should I say this? Get access to photos, which have never been seen outside of this family, never been published. What had happened was when the miners came down off of the cabin and mine site on July the 11th, on Friday morning, after the cabin was attacked, the first person that they talked to is a woman named Wilma Welch. Wilma and Bill Welch were at Spirit Lake. Bill was the head ranger for the Spirit Lake district for the Columbia National Forest, what became the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. They were stationed and lived up there at Spirit Lake. Bill was the head ranger, and Wilma was his wife. The miners had going up to the cabin site. They had talked with Bill and Wilma a lot, and they had discussed the mountain devils that they had taken crack shots at before the cabin attack. And Bill was like, okay, well, tell me if you ever got one. So these miners come down on Friday morning, July the 11th. They knock on the door for the residents, and they first talk to Wilma, Bill's wife. And, hey, is Bill here? No, Bill's in the barn. Bill is in the barn, hears the knock on the door of these guys, and he comes out with a shotgun, and he sees that, oh, it's Marion Smith, and it's Fred Beck, and it's Leroy Perry Smith. It's like, okay, I know these guys. Goes up and talks to them. And Marion Smith says, well, Bill, I just want to let you know I got him. We shot a mountain devil, all this kind of stuff. And they drive off, and then Ape Canyon is all news. Well, the thing is that Bill and Wilma Welch, from what I understand, died without kids. They had supplied Bill had supplied a couple of photos to the Columbia newspaper in 1966 of telling about his encounters with these miners in 1924. But I knew since he he had given a couple of photos to this reporter from the Columbian in 1966. I knew there had to be other photos that Bill had. Well, about 5 days ago, I was able to make contact with the grandkids generation of Bill Welch, and suddenly there are new photos of Ape Canyon that were taken in 1924 by Bill Welch, and they are so crystal clear.
Wow.
Of the cabin, of the miners. They're so crystal clear that I actually sent these photos out of this family photo album to a digital analysis guy because it looks like AI. This photo of the cabin with Fred Beck and Leroy Perry Smith, it is so crystal clear. I could have sworn it was AI generated, but he looked at it and he's like, no, these are OG. These are true photos that I just got about 5 or 6 days ago that is like going to blow the lid off of it. So
is this the first time this has been announced?
Yes.
Wow. I feel privileged. And of course,
thanks.
you're going to write a book, right, Mark?
Well, actually, I'm about 3/4 of the way through a book.
Yeah, I knew this. I didn't know.
Yeah, I knew you too. I knew you did. Fortunately, I've just gotten permission from the family in order to use these photos in the book. But I'm as you can see from my Facebook history, I'm a blabbermouth about everything about Ape Canyon. But
you're
these
excited.
photos, I can't share them right now until the book comes out.
No, that's great.
Right
I'm
now,
glad you're working on a book. We would love to have a chance to publish that book for you.
Okay. Well, naturally, as you know, common friends have talked to me about you and Alex about your publishing, and they've strongly recommended you. Right now, I'm estimating somewhere around the vicinity of about 250 pages, maybe 300 pages.
That'd be awesome. But the thing is, Mark,
I'm calling it the Big Ape Canyon book.
Because we can put video and audio in the book.
Yeah.
It'd really be really cool book.
QR
I would just
code.
love to. Love to have the opportunity.
That'd be so
to
cool.
Yeah, it would be it's next to the Freeman Files. It would be a big book.
I mean, just
cool
so we
book.
could see it even before anyone else would be cool.
Yeah. So right now, Doug and Alex, I'm running around with 90% to me, maybe about 4 to 5% to you guys.
Sure.
So we can talk about it.
Yeah, no problem. Hell, we don't need that much.
I'm joking.
We don't even need that much. We could deal with 1%.
All right. No, I'm joking.
Half of a half of 1%.
Yeah, half of a half of a half. Caillou said he sent me something. Thank you, Caillou. It's good to see you in here too. Tristan, I mean. Anyhow, how in the world, who coined the phrase Ape Canyon? I don't remember who actually coined that damn name, because that says so much about the existence of Bigfoot.
You know, Doug, that is a most excellent question that I never thought about. And I'm going to get on that tomorrow. Actually, you're right. Because the canyon where this took place in 1924, that canyon had no name. The canyon directly to the north was called Pummy Point or Pummy Point Canyon, but this canyon had like colloquial names, sometimes 1,000-foot canyons, drop-off canyon. But I have to say, to backtrack about the 1936 citation that I talked about, out of the National Archives, I found a Mount St. Helens Spirit Lake District Ranger map, like a trail map. And this was in 1936. And it said that you could see the cabin site from the head where you were, Doug. When you go up the trail and you look down the canyon, they said that you could see the cabin in 1936, and they called it Ape Canyon. perhaps, I don't know, perhaps that's the first time in 1936 that it was called Ape Canyon.
Yeah, and then Tristan mentioned Ape Caves. You're familiar with Ape Caves?
Ape Caves is sort of a different animal, not to make a pun, but Ape Caves is about, let's see, about 7 or 8 miles south of that. Ape Caves is sort of a related story. There was a fellow named Harry Reese who was an old-time logger up on Mount St. Helens, and in the 1950s he started a Boy Scout troop. Because he was a logger and knew a lot of the cave entrances, he called his Boy Scout troop the Mount St. Helens Apes. And so when they made it to Ape Cave that Harry Reese already knew about, that they ended up calling it Ape Cave, but it's related to 20 to 30 years prior, the name of Ape Canyon.
Interesting. But it would be interesting to know, when that name actually got applied, who had the authority to change the park name, because isn't there even a little sign there, a marker that says Ape Canyon?
Oh yeah, it is. It's called the Ape Canyon Trail.
Yeah,
now.
Right. But you wonder who, when that all happened.
Prior to that, if you read through Fred Beck's book, or if you want to track down any of the newspaper articles and stuff, you'll see references to the Pine Creek Trail. The Pine Creek Trail and the first half of all of the Ape Canyon Trail that you take today is basically all the same. Again, referring back to my friend Jim Nealand, who is the head ranger for the Volcanic Monument, he was also not only part of identifying historical resources for the Gifford Pinchot, he was actually in charge of reconstructing that trail from the lower parts of the Pine Creek Trail up to Spirit Lake. He was in charge of reconstructing that trail. He pointed out, Jim Nealand did to me, was that it was interesting is that the southern half from the head of Ape Canyon south, that trail was very little affected by the eruption. The trail that you take today is basically the same as the miners took that first trip up to Ape Canyon, the Pine Creek Trail. From Ape Canyon north up to Spirit Lake, that trail is like totally changed because of the eruption. But it's basically the same. It's basically the same trail. The Ape Canyon Trail and the Pine Creek Trail, they are walking on. You're basically following in the footsteps of the miners.
Did I just hear a Christmas bulb fall off a Christmas tree?
I'll clean that up later.
It's a distinct sound.
No cleaning when we're talking about Bigfoot.
All right.
Okay, that's a distinct sound. I know the sound.
My microphone is too good. Sorry.
Yeah, you got a good mic. You got a great mic. So, I got a funny cougar story I want to tell you. The town Cougar, which is right there at the...
Cougar, Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. With the entrance to the Gifford Pinchot. I say Pinchot, you say Pinchot?
Yeah, Gifford Pinchot. Yeah, locally we say Gifford Pinchot.
Pinchot? Okay. I'm going to have to change my ways. But anyhow, so we were going to interview, I was there with Matt and Autumn Williams and our crew, and we were going to interview Bigfoot witnesses. So we left word at the gas station.
Yeah.
Come back the next day. Oh my God!
The gas station with the uneven floors when you go.
Yeah. With the quarter showers, you can take a shower.
Yeah.
Okay, but so we just left word we're going to be back if anybody wants to tell a Bigfoot story, any witnesses. Oh my God! We had the whole damn town show up.
Yeah.
And then, the funny thing is, I asked everybody interviewed, have you ever seen a cougar? Everybody was like, no. But have you seen a Bigfoot? Yeah, of course. I've seen 3 of them. But that was over and over. Every witness is like, have you seen a cougar? No. Have you seen a Bigfoot? Yeah. It's just crazy.
I think it was I can't remember what year it was. Maybe it was 2016. A bunch of friends asked me, like, Bigfoot friends, not like Bigfoot friends, but Bigfoot research friends asked me to you got to take me to Ape Canyon. You got to take me up to Ape Canyon. So it's a variety of people that but one of them was Shelley Covington, Montana. And so we pull off at that gas station because we have to get gas and maybe load up with gas or supplies or whatever. And she barrels out of the car, and we're all convening, and I'm having a cup of coffee. And this stranger out of nowhere, a resident of Cougar, Washington, comes up to us, and she's like, "Shelley?" And she recognized her from her podcast that she was doing or whatever. So just this stranger resident out of Cougar, Washington, recognized Shelley Covington, Montana from Texas in Cougar, Washington.
That's funny. Well, just take note that nobody in Cougar has seen a cougar, but they've all seen Bigfoots.
Right, exactly.
That is weird. If you think about that, that's weird.
I know it is. Yeah.
And the other thing is Ape Canyon. We don't have apes in North America, so the whole thing is weird.
Well, maybe we do, Doug. Do we?
Well, yeah, of course we do, but or whatever. What people might, think they're an ape. I don't know.
Right,
I have no idea what they are. What do you think they are?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I got to.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it if you don't.
No,
want
I'm going to answer you. And I'm going to answer you with a very, very sincere answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
That's a good
I have
answer.
a lot of friends who are flesh and blood North American wood ape friends. And it is a mammal. And that's where I tend to lean. But I also have friends who are interdimensional portal friends.
Sure.
And that's what they are. The thing is that I feel that I do not have the tools in my toolbox personally to come up with any kind of empirical evidence to say exactly what this phenomenon is, but I do believe that the phenomenon is real.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if I'm going to be dead. I tend to think I'm going to be dead before we have those tools in our toolbox. But what I do have to say is that 99% of the time when someone says that they saw something in the woods, I believe it. They saw something in the woods.
Yeah.
What that is, I do not know. I don't know.
But don't you think it's actually better to not even worry about that? Just to
yes,
collect
in
the
a way.
evidence,
In a way, yes.
collect the data, collect whatever the data is, and just keep your damn mouth shut on conclusions.
And that's what gets me onto one of my points. One of my soapboxes. Sorry, but I'm your invited guest, so I'm going to take my soapbox. Is that again? I strictly consider myself the new guy in the Bigfoot research community. But what I'm bringing, what I hope to bring, is my skills as a land surveyor to be able to document research and apply it to field research. And that's what I'm good at as a land surveyor. Everybody, I swear, everybody has that skill set, no matter who you think that you are. You're a plumber, you're an IT guy, you're a video guy, you're a microbiologist, you're a street sweeper, you're a tracker. You have a skill set that if you're interested in the Sasquatch phenomenon, that you can apply to that research that you're interested in. You have to find your project and apply it to that project. I hate to say it, but kind of like what I did. How does land surveying apply to Sasquatch research? That's how I applied it. that's where I am. I think that I think that's where we're going in Sasquatch research, is that, everyone's out there identifying tracks, casting tracks, taking samples, doing photography, doing this. And that's super great. But I think the next level is where the community can apply their individual skill sets, whether through experience or through academics. They can apply that to Sasquatch research. Make your project and document it and just get it out there. You can apply your skills to Sasquatch research and publish it. I think that's the next level of Sasquatch research. Honestly.
So true. Say, Alex, I'll let you take a stab at Mark. You come up with good questions.
Mark, what are we all doing wrong as a community?
That's a good one.
Like, where do you feel like is the
what's your frustrating?
Yeah, exactly. What are you frustrated about the Bigfoot community?
It's not my. Okay. You asked me two different questions.
Okay.
You're already on your soapbox.
You asked me two different questions. What are we doing wrong? And yes. I would take it. The second question is what frustrates me about the Bigfoot research community. So those are, I would say those are two different questions.
All right,
those are two different questions, Alex.
All right, well, I get two of them. Come on.
So
you got answers.
What are we doing wrong? Nothing. There's no right or wrong. That is the point of research. That's the point of research. There is no right or wrong.
Any research is good research.
Absolutely.
That's a good answer.
All evidence
that's a good question.
Is evidence. All evidence is evidence. Absolutely. Okay. Before I get on to my answer to the next question,
yes,
I have to invoke a quote from an old land surveying guru who had these gems of wisdom flowing from his mouth all the time. Guy named Walt Robillard, and he was about 5 feet tall and about 5 feet around. Old land surveyor and an attorney from Texas. And he talked like this. And he was really intense guy. And he always said in his seminars, how much evidence is enough? Dramatic pause. You can never have enough evidence. You can never have enough evidence. And that's the truth. So we're doing nothing wrong. There's no right or wrong, Doug. Like you said, get the evidence, document it, write it down, and share it with your friends.
Yep. Whatever evidence the person can get. Yeah, and that's true. We all have our own little skill sets and our own interests, and
So what frustrates me the most, Alex? I just avoid chatter. People shouting other people down. Like I said, what is the Bigfoot phenomenon? I don't know, but I believe the phenomenon is real. So to throw the baby out with the bathwater, I think it's foolish.
So are you saying when people are overly sure and they put the other group down, some people think it's maybe this, some people think it might be that, and then they just attack each other?
Yeah. As we say on the internet today, trolls. I think that we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater without listening to other people, even though I think that perhaps I hear some stories. 95% of it is complete nonsense. There could be a 5% there that's worth investigating.
Yeah, it's well said. You're a wise man, Mark.
Oh, shut up, Doug. Oh, excuse me, Doug. I mean, I meant to say it takes one to know one.
Oh, jeez. So I don't, the funny thing is we never even told people, I'm sure most people know. Can you do a real quick, tight Marc version of Ape Canyon right down to the creature being shot? Keep it real tight. I want to hear that. Nobody ever tells the tight story.
Yeah.
Ape Canyon.
Compact.
I don't even know if
cookie.
Alex, do you even know what the Ape Canyon story is? Sort of.
Sort of, but I'm a great.
Okay, well, Alex, you tell the Ape Canyon story, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, you tell us the Ape Canyon
Alex,
story.
Oh my gosh,
that'd be funnier than hell.
Oh man. No, because they're gonna spend.
You can always tell when Alex gets a little embarrassed. He's just a little bit like when you were feeding him answers on the water trivia. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well,
Anyhow,
what are you doing with me, Alex? Come on, you're gonna tell the story, man. Okay, fine.
1924. Something.
Okay, jeez, Alex. God, chicken.
I'm not a good storyteller.
Okay, so in 1918, a group of men, mainly family members, head east of Woodland along the Lewis River Valley in order to look for gold. Marion Smith, the patriarch, who was about 55 or so, knew that there was gold up there, which there was coming off of Mount St. Helens. They were looking for placer claims about 25, 30 miles east of Woodland. They headed north up onto the mountain, and they ended up in 1922 filing a lode claim that they called the Vanderwhite Mine. It was a lode claim, which means you have to actually burrow into the mountain. They blasted out with dynamite, a shelf, and they started burrowing in. The mine eventually led to about 75 feet long or so. In 1922, in order to work the claim, they were just tent camping at the base of Pumice Butte. They couldn't stay up there year round because the snows would come in around Thanksgiving or so, and you can't stay up there year round. Well, in 1922, Leroy Perry Smith, the youngest, Marion's son, found this large track in a sandbar, and it was about 14 inches long or so, and it looked just like a human footprint. And he gets the guys around, hey, look at this, and they couldn't make sense of it. They had heard these high-pitched whistling noises from one ridgetop to another. There was a high-pitched whistling sound from a ridgetop at night, and then a few minutes later there would be another high-pitched whistling sound up there. They also heard these big, like thundering, dark, deep sound, bass sounds. They couldn't make sense out of it. Well, the assays were apparently pretty good, so that in late 1923 they decided, when they returned in the spring of 1924, they were going to build a cabin right by the mine, because previously the tent was up and over the butte from the mine. So in spring of 1924, that's what they did. They get there probably about late May in order to build the cabin. And when they're doing that in late May, they go to the nearby spring, and Fred and Marion sees this large hair-covered creature peeking out from behind a cedar tree. What Fred does is he takes 3 shots at the creature, and they go to the tree, and there's no blood, there's no nothing. They see this creature headed up the draw on the other side. And actually, I've been there, as well as the Mitchell brothers have been there as well, right where Fred took the shots. The good thing is what I told in this podcast, is that we also have Fred doing a recreation right there at the spring with his gun. Great photo. And so they end up going back down for 4th of July, tell their family members about it, and then return to the cabin site because the gold is apparently pretty good. Leroy's coming back from the spring. Creatures coming out of the brush right by the cabin, 50 feet away, takes shots into it. Creature turns around, goes. Next day, Thursday morning, July the 10th, 1924, Leroy takes shots again because he sees this creature coming out of the brush. The guys, the rest of the miners were in the cabin. They come boiling out, hearing the shots. Marion Smith estimated there were 16 rounds going into this creature at that time. This is at the end of the day. Either Fred took the last shot. Either the creature went down the bluff or the creature fell off the bluff into the canyon. Okay, let's go home. This is crazy. It's only been about like 5 days after the 4th of July when they got back. We're leaving. That night, Thursday, bam, something hits the cabin really, really hard to knock out the log chinking between the logs of the cabin, enough for them to look out. Wait till you see this picture. I thought that this log chinking was about this big that they looked out of. No, it was big enough to crawl through. It was about 8 feet long. They look out and they can see about 6 or 7 of these creatures dancing around. Dang, these boulders are coming down. These stones are coming down on the roof. These creatures are coming up on top of the roof, trying to beat their way in. Later, we find out after the attack, somebody is trying to crawl, trying to dig under the foundation. They blockade the door because some creature is trying to get through the door. They blockade the door with sticks and anything that they can find. They end up shooting through the roof, building up the fire as big as they can. Please go away. This attack onto the cabin happens all night long. Please go away. We'll go away in the morning, and we're just going to forget about this whole thing. This goes on all night long. Dawn comes Friday, July the 11th, and everything's quiet. These guys have not gotten a single wink of sleep. They unblockade the door, open it up, and everything's quiet. They find these big impressions, about 14 to 15 inches long, rocks everywhere. They had piled up a spare pile of shakes, like roofing shakes to build the roof. Those were scattered everywhere. Grab your gun, grab your tobacco, and let's get out of here. It's about 5.5, 6 miles hike along the trail back to the truck at Spirit Lake, where Bill and Wilma first met them. It must have been the longest walk of their life. When they were walking out, nobody say anything to anybody. They're going to think we're crazy. But how could they? They, as I've always said, when they got back to Kelso, they did the first thing that I would have done. They got a drink. And so they went to the Blue Ox Tavern and they told the bartender about what had just happened to them the day before. And then the word spreads like wildfire. And that's how we know about the Ape Canyon incident, because it was published in the paper that later Saturday night.
There you go. Who was it? Caillou asked a question. Tristan did. He said, Mark, do you know anyone who tried to find the Bigfoot body that fell off the cliff? Yeah, that was us. That was me and Matt Moneymaker and Richard Knoll and Autumn Williams. We brought a crazy camera with like gimbals on it where we could control it. But the chances of finding anything are, it was almost laughable. But we did try. You never know.
You didn't tell me that Rick Knoll was there too.
Yeah, Rick was there too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Rick was there.
I'll ask Rick about that.
Yeah.
Well, the idea of finding body parts or bones is pretty much laughable. impossible.
it is.
I'm the patron saint of lost causes. However,
Yeah.
the next trip I'm going to be taking, I've always wanted to try to figure out a way to get to the bottom of the canyon below the cabin site. It wasn't until just now, like this year, where I did find a route in order to get into the bottom of the canyon right below the cabin site. And I always thought it was impossible, but I found a climbing report from 2013, and it's actually, frankly, it's not that hard in order to get down to that
Yeah,
point.
you could rappel down in there.
It's only a couple of drops, Doug. It's only a couple of drops, which are pretty easy. There's like a 50-foot drop, and then there's a 40-foot drop, and then you're right there below the cabin. So I'm not looking for a Bigfoot body, at least up at Ape Canyon.
It made for good TV, Mark.
Okay, well, good. Okay,
that's when we send you this episode. I guarantee you'll be like, "Oh, I hope they find those bones."
Okay, yeah, right. Well, the thing is that beyond that, down further down the canyon along that route, it's just not all straight downhill. There's some very large boulder hills that could capture some further evidence. I'm not out there looking for a Bigfoot body, but what I'm most interested in is anything that fell off of the mine and cabin site down 200 feet down into the bottom of the canyon.
That needs to be done. I mean, that survey wouldn't just getting a couple of really good 2-3 mountain climbers.
No, Doug. No, it's me. You're looking at the only. No, I'm going to do it, dude. No, later part of June, early part of July.
You are.
I'm going down there to do it, and well, yeah. I just need like 200 feet of rope.
Yeah. It's getting out. That's the hard part, maybe.
What?
Getting out of the canyon.
Oh no, it's no big deal. If I can go down, I can get back up. When I was down there, interestingly enough, the snows had drawn down an old dead snowmobile and lodged in the boulders down there.
That's interesting. And there's quite an undercut, as I remember, on some of it.
There is
that. Yeah, it's kind of an undercut.
Anyway, I got to the cabin site, and my friends got to the mine site. So I'm sorry. I'm a little fearless, maybe dangerously fearless.
Sounds like it. Okay, with that, you can buy Mark's new book at Hanger One Publishing.
Okay.
Put you on the spot.
That's how you can find. That's how you can get hold. No.
Okay. Yeah. You can send me the check for the pre-orders, Doug?
Yes. How long do you think it'll be until your book is done, Mark? In all seriousness.
Well, actually, if you're interested, Douglas,
oh God, yes.
I could probably send you the advanced copies without the forewords being written. There's about 6 people asked to write the forewords on the book, but I could probably send you an advanced copy like around February.
Wow, that's awesome, exciting. It's coming up quick too.
Okay.
It's coming up quick. Okay, with that, we are like way past our time. And thank you so much. It was so cool meeting you, Mark.
You're great, man.
You're a hero. And I will make sure that Alex text you my number tomorrow.
Okay, good.
So then we can talk and just chat about all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay, cool, man.
All right. And thank you so much, everybody in chat. And everybody have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. And you have a great holiday, Mark. Alex, I will see you. I know you're going to have a great holiday because you get to spend it with your dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, can I come?
Yeah, you can come. Come on.
Okay, I'll be right there.
All right. Hell, you can drive here and you'll be here in 16 hours.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah, plenty of time. Anyhow, thank you so much, everybody. It was really a fun show. I had a blast. Even though my vision is fading even. I'm like, what? I need to go to bed. I got to go to bed. It's been a long, hard day on an old guy. So anyhow, thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week. Thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I'll pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait.